Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Hope's 4 words to Liam: is it too late to make a sincere request? According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan might deliver 4 beautiful words to Liam Spencer, but will her sincere appeal be too late? Let's think about how Liam's heartbreaking announcement might alter Hope's romantic future. Hope has been reflecting a lot lately on what a wonderful parent and man Liam is. Despite all of the difficulties they had, Hope and Liam also created many amazing memories. Hope has naturally been cautious about getting back together and undoing the progress they've made as friends because Liam and Hope caused each other a great deal of pain. Reuniting would require them to put their hearts at risk once more because these ex-partners might make more mistakes and suffer more. But Hope is aware that Liam fought for a reunion a few months ago, and Deacon Sharp has been encouraging Hope to go back to Liam. Hope may eventually decide against starting a new romantic relationship with Liam, despite her attempts to pretend that they would get along better as co-parents. Hope may grow more certain that it's the right decision the more she considers starting a new chapter with Liam. Hope can choose to show courage and risk her heart by making a request that surprises Liam. The 4 beautiful things that Hope might say to Liam are as follows: can we try again? Maybe Hope will at last ask herself if Liam is still interested in getting back together like he was in October 2024. Naturally, Liam is currently coping with an inoperable brain tumor. Hope's sincere request may indicate that it's too late to rekindle a love relationship because Liam's physicians have declared his illness to be terminal. It all hinges on whether this medical emergency is leading to Liam's actual death or if it's just another made-up scenario like the one supplied to Taylor Hayes and Eric Forrester, John McCook. Liam will want to move past all the awful predictions about his illness and find a treatment that works whenever he receives updates on his deadly tumor. Don't miss the road ahead because, according to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam will stop at nothing to survive. Liam and Steffy leave LA for a miracle cure abroad? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy Forrester may choose to go with Liam Spencer to an out-of-town facility so that he can receive state-of-the-art care for his serious illness. The terrible news is that Liam has an inoperable brain tumor. Vibrant Liam, however, defies the gloom and makes a valiant effort to discover a remedy. Terminal is Liam. When Steffy discovered Liam unconscious on the ground, she took him to the hospital, saving his life. He received treatment for a head injury, but the physicians have more unfavorable news. Doctors Bridget Forrester and Grace Buckingham want Liam to make the most of his remaining time. Liam, however, has other ideas. What is Liam going to do next? In order to save the life of Eric Forrester, John McCook, who was diagnosed with a terminal illness, Liam could first ask Dr. John Finnegan to find him a miraculous treatment. Liam will not abandon his daughters Kelly Spencer and Beth Spencer, Jordan Grace, since he loves them more than life itself. Even though Liam isn't paying attention to what the doctors have to say, you can't blame him for wanting to live for his girls. There's much for Liam to live for. We anticipate that if one of Liam's doctors learns about a clinic that might be able to help him, he will board the first flight out of Los Angeles. Telling someone they have an inoperable brain mass isn't always a death sentence, and doctors can make mistakes too. However, we don't witness Liam going to treatment by himself. Steffy obviously loves Liam and doesn't want him to be alone during such a delicate moment. Jacqueline McInnes Wood's leave of maternity. Pregnant, Jacqueline McInnes Wood will take a long maternity leave, as she has done in the past. In order to justify Steffy's absence from the spotlight, it would be practical to have her follow Liam. While Steffy is away, will Finn develop a covert bond with Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada? Indeed, perhaps. Keep an eye out for some significant developments regarding Liam, which we will promptly share with you. The future of Liam and Steffy, what will take place? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam Spencer will dance with his daughter Kelly Spencer at home instead of at the school father-daughter dance after he recovers from a medical emergency. What might go wrong? What happens is when Steffy Forrester gets a text stating that Liam has a brain tumor that cannot be removed. Here's what we think will occur. 1. Steffy remains silent. The text astounds Steffy, but will she want to spoil the lovely moment that is taking on in front of her? Liam is ecstatic about his unexpected visit, and Kelly is ecstatic as well. Steffy can't deliver this heartbreaking news to everyone. We anticipate that she will remain silent and allow the time to be lovely. Before facing reality, she might talk to Finnegan about the tragedy or simply take a moment to herself. 2. Steffy attempts to keep a perfect day intact. Steffy is aware of the recent upheaval in her world. She must, however, gather herself and decide how to inform Liam and Kelly of this information before she succumbs to reality. It is quite reasonable for people to attempt to delay the inevitable at times. Will Steffy think of a happy lunch, a beach walk, a pleasant picnic, or selfies as a stall tactic? As any mother would, we anticipate that Steffy would seek to shield Kelly from the possible death of her father. However, one person can only act so convincingly, and even with the best of intentions, Steffy may lose it. A diagnosis overwhelms Steffy. What are your thoughts on this most recent narrative development, fans? Is Liam doomed? Or will Finn be able to come up with another miraculous remedy? We are aware that Wood will eventually take maternity leave, and it's probable the show is arranging for Liam to receive medical care outside of town, which Steffy would accompany. Additionally, Steam or Lope might reunite as a result of this situation. Would you like to watch that? Liam is unable to accept the truth. According to Tuesday, April 22, 2025, spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam must confront his own mortality, but is he capable of doing so? Is this Liam Spencer's last chance? The revelation that Liam Spencer has an incurable brain tumor has left Steffy Forrester Finnegan in a state of shock. When she witnessed him almost faint while attempting to dance with Kelly Spencer, she knew he wasn't feeling well, but she couldn't fathom his dying. Steffy is aware that she must explain everything to Liam herself, even as John Finnegan tries to do so. She cannot let medical personnel deliver the news. That would follow standard procedure and make far too much sense. No, Steffy must be the one. Steffy says she is the only one Liam needs to hear this from. Finn needs to agree because his wife won't stop talking to him if he doesn't. The worst news Liam has ever heard. Steffy delicately conveys the news of his death to Liam when she sits him down to tell him, but Liam's response is anything from kind. He has a lot of life left, so he refuses to accept the reality. He cannot take the thought of his two lovely children growing up without a father. They are in need of him. Now that he's thinking about that other daughter, Liam might want to spend some of his remaining time with Beth Spencer and her mother. Since she hasn't heard from Liam in days, Hope Logan, Annika Noel, is terrified of him. Will she have to swallow her pride and call Steffy to find out what's going on? Will Liam's second ex-wife and child even cross Steffy's mind? How are his brothers and father doing? Steffy already knows what it was like to be kept in the dark about Eric Forrester's death, even though Liam may not want to tell them the truth. Would she wish to harm another person in the same way? Liam is pretending to be dead and lying. In times of crisis, drastic measures are necessary. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful strongly imply that Liam Spencer may be pretending to be dead. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam is lying and pretending to die. He might be doing this as a ruse to get back together with Steffy Forrester, which is why. And it appears that his idea is succeeding thus far. Ultimately, there may be a rationale to Liam's strong insistence that Steffy keep his illness and hospitalization a secret. This is because it's quite likely that he's using this as a ruse to try to win Steffy back. He hasn't lost his affection for her, after all. This may also be the cause of Dr. Bridget Forrester's inability to discover a treatment for Liam's purported ailment. This is due to the fact that there is no condition. Fans have expressed their opinions about the situation on social media, as you might expect. Some have even said, "I don't think so," in their comments. Everyone will be praising Liam as he approaches death, and in the last seconds, Finn will be researching an amazing, uncommon procedure that has never been done before online and intervening at the last second to save his life. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, what will happen to Liam Spencer next? I believe Steffy will find a doctor abroad who will perform surgery, and by the time they return, they will either be back together or have shared a bed, another critic commented. While Steffy was away, Finn would have formed a bond with Luna, who would later return to Liam. Additionally, there was the following comment: "I agree. All of this is a dramatic attempt to reunite Steffy and Liam. Especially since Steffy will realize how much she loves Liam after spending so much time by his bedside. I believe she will accompany him to a rehabilitation facility, which will account for her maternity leave." Bill's redemption story on The Bold and the Beautiful. Does money and connections help Liam find his surprising cure? According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Bill Spencer might have a redemption tale in the works. Will Liam Spencer's surprising recovery be made possible by Bill's wealth and connections? Naturally, Steffy Forrester was informed by John Finn Finnegan that Liam was dying. Finn said that since Liam's tumor cannot be removed, the best they could do was to reduce the pain and delay its growth. But when Liam receives updates on this challenging news, he refuses to accept a bleak future. According to sources, Liam will struggle for his future, which may present Bill with an opportunity to save the day. Liam and Bill got into a heated argument at the Spencer estate just before Liam passed out. Bill and Liam fought about his part in Luna Nozawa's, Lisa Yamada, liberation, but their argument went beyond that. Bill essentially pretended that Liam couldn't succeed without the assistance of his wealthy father. Now that this medical drama is well underway, what if that was a clue that Liam would need Bill to survive? Liam resigned from his position at Spencer Publications during the face-off because he was unimpressed by Bill's wealth and connections. Perhaps there is a way for all of these things to work together, since Liam truly desired a method to show his father's love. Could Liam's survival depend on Bill's riches and influence? What if Bill shows his son the love he longs for while saving Liam? Finn suppressed Steffy's insistence that there had to be a treatment for Liam. Finn was unable to forecast any positive outcomes for the future, but Bill might not be any better prepared than Liam to accept his son's death. If there is an experimental trial or novel surgery, you can sure that Bill will bribe Liam to get into it. At least not yet. Finn might not be aware of every possibility that Bill's wealth can set up. To put it another way, Bill might provide Liam a fresh outlook and a chance to stay for his girls. After the whole Luna incident, Dollar Bill might use his wealth to save Liam and make amends. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Bill will ultimately learn what Liam is up against. Watch closely to see if he decides to purchase a life-saving remedy. Although Liam Spencer's journey on The Bold and the Beautiful has been full of ups and downs, his most recent experience, a sudden health crisis that almost cost him his life, has thrown him into a deep phase of introspection, metamorphosis, and perhaps even awakening. Following Liam from his love ping-pong days between Hope and Steffy, fans are now witnessing a man who is starting to view the world and his role in it with greater clarity and significance. In addition to being physically changed, Liam has also had a mental realignment after his horrific collapse and subsequent diagnosis, which at first suggested something potentially lethal. Liam, who was previously unsure of himself and too accommodating, is now totally focused on what matters to him, and his newfound priorities might be the thing that destroys his relationship with Hope Logan. Parts of Liam's psyche that had been tarnished by years of emotional manipulation, constant romantic pressure, and the instability of life at Forrester Creations started to recover along with his body. Regaining strength was only one aspect of his recuperation, another was finding his voice again. Liam started to face the truth of his own decisions as he lay in that hospital bed day after day, surrounded only by the whir of machinery and sporadic visits from worried family members. He had lost a strong sense of his own self as a result of the years he spent alternating between Hope and Steffy, striving to be the man each woman desired him to be. Liam was forced to quit fleeing the emotional devastation and start rebuilding his life on his own terms after this health scare, which served as the impetus for change. However, what occurs when a guy awakens and the lady who has supported him discovers that she is no longer the focal point of his world? Hope Logan can't get that question out of her head. She has thought for years, possibly correctly, that her bond with Liam is indefinable, magnetic, and indestructible. Hope held on to the idea that she and Liam were endgame despite the fact that they had endured cheating scandals, custody disputes, and even family sabotage. However, Liam's recuperation has brought about a shocking change. He is no longer holding back. In actuality, His attention has completely shifted away from sexual relationships and toward his daughter Kelly, his sense of purpose, and his wish to live a life unencumbered by the dramatic ties that formerly characterized him. There were no fireworks or outbursts of rage to accompany this transformation. Rather, Hope has found it to be slow, subtle, and extremely unnerving. She has been met with quiet reflection and distance instead of the protestations of love and recommitment she had anticipated. Hope feels bewildered, insecure, and yes, threatened by Liam's reluctance to instantly resume their relationship. She has always been Liam's emotional pillar. She has fostered his idealistic side, shown him unflinching forgiveness, and centered their partnership around a desire of family and the future. However, Liam is now questioning more important things, such as his identity, his true desires, and whether the life he shared with Hope is still what he wants. Making things more difficult is Steffy Forrester, who has always had unresolved business with Liam even if she maintains that her marriage to Finn is still strong. Through Kelly, the two have an unbreakable relationship, and Liam's renewed commitment in being an active, present father has rekindled their bond in a way that is difficult to deny. It's no secret that spending time with Steffy has always evoked long-suppressed feelings, even though Liam may have the best of intentions, wanting to be the father Kelly deserves. Hope is aware of it. Steffy is aware of it. And maybe Liam is starting to see it too. Ironically, his quest for clarity, balance, and serenity, rather than rekindling past romances, may bring him and Steffy closer together again. Meanwhile, Hope is falling apart. She has been feeling more and more alone as her fashion brand is in jeopardy due to Carter's change of loyalty and Steffy's relentless attempt to regain control at Forrester Creations. Once her pillar of support, her personal life is now as precarious as her career. Liam's separation has left a void that she finds difficult to fill. She is also beginning to realize that he might be outgrowing her idea of their future together as she sees him develop into a strong, purposeful man. Fans are divided as the showrunners are obviously preparing for a big shift. Since a guy can only remain indecisive for so long before it becomes a weakness, some contend that Liam's change is long overdue. Some others think Hope merits greater sympathy, particularly since she supported Liam during some of his most trying times. However, there is no denying that Liam has been given new life by this new storyline. He is no longer merely a love piece in the chess game between Logan and Forrester. He is becoming into a fully developed person, and as a result, there will inevitably be casualties. Will one of them be Hope? We'll find out in the upcoming weeks. Whether they can grow together or if they have outgrown one another depends on how she responds to Liam's new goals. Hope may become more and more at odds with the Liam that is forming if she insists on seeing the old Liam return, the man who put her needs first, looked for her approval, and followed her example. On the other hand, they might discover a fresh, genuine connection if she can accept his development and perhaps even set off on her own path of self-discovery. However, that is a hefty if. One thing is evident as Liam gets ready to return to the world, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before, he is not returning to the past. Now that the stress of almost losing everything has cleared his head, he is making his own decisions. It remains to be seen if that decision brings him closer to Steffy, back to Hope, or down a completely different route. But for the time being, fans can only sit back and watch as Liam Spencer takes things one step at a time, letting go of the past and perhaps the lady who always believed she would be a part of his future. It's going to be one of those heartbreaking, soul-crushing days in Los Angeles where even the most assured parents begin to doubt everything and the sunshine feels a little colder. Even in the midst of the turbulent whirlwinds of love triangles, betrayals, and corporate backstabbing, Liam Spencer has always been seen as a loving parent. However, he is currently at a crossroads in his life that could break him in unexpected ways. Liam is faced with a task far more challenging than any boardroom conflict or romantic quandary as he tries to return to the routines of everyday life after his terrifying health scare and a diagnosis that changed his life, figuring out how to be the father Kelly needs when everything about him feels unrecognizable. As everything around him, including Steffy, Hope, Finn, and even Ridge, keeps changing, Liam is caught in a silent emotional haze, attempting to find the answer to the most agonizing question of all: what if I'm no longer sufficient for my daughter? The idea is unsettling, and the effects of that anxiety are starting to permeate every aspect of his formerly self-assured identity as a father. With the complex web of feelings, marriages, divorces, and allegiances encircling Kelly's life, parenting her was never going to be easy. She is the physical representation of Liam and Steffy's turbulent romance, capturing both their highs and lows in a single, small, stunning girl. And Liam's affection for her has always been intense. However, love isn't always enough, and now that he's dealing with the emotional fallout from his medical crisis, dizzy episodes, and the mental fog of recovery, Liam is beginning to feel like a stranger to both his daughter and himself. How do you tell a child that daddy isn't the same person he once was? Why does daddy look off into space when she asks him a question, forget things, or become weary more quickly? Despite Liam's intense desire to protect Kelly from his inner turmoil, kids are naturally perceptive, and Kelly is no exception. Even though she lacks the words to describe it, the concern in her eyes is clear when she notices the fissures appearing in her father's previously solid foundation. During what should have been a typical afternoon, Liam was struck with a devastating realization. Just the two of them, father and daughter, intending to read a book, bake cookies, and perhaps even dance in the living room to her favorite tunes, as they used to do. However, the change in Kelly's expression pushed Liam into a tailspin when he mispronounced her name and forgot which song she loved. She tried to console him by smiling through it, but that simply made the anguish worse. Because for the first time, a youngster much too little to bear that load was protecting Liam emotionally, not the other way around. Steffy has been kind and even patient, but Liam knows deep down that she's keeping a careful eye on him to see how long she can let him spend time with Kelly alone without worrying about something going wrong. Although it's not an accusation yet, he can tell everything he needs to know from the long silences between statements and the nervousness behind her gaze. She is concerned. He is, too. Even Finn, who is attempting to balance the roles of stepfather, doctor, and spouse, must approach Liam cautiously. Despite using cautious, clinical language, Finn's expert evaluations all raise the terrifying potential that Liam's mental clarity may not entirely return. Parenting becomes less about instinct and delight and more about worry and hesitancy as long as that uncertainty looms large over Liam's head. What happens in school if he forgets Kelly? What if he administers the incorrect drug to her? What happens if he nods off when she's crossing the street or by the pool? These issues are no longer unreasonable, rather, they are genuine worries for a man who has always taken great satisfaction in being dependable, present, and close to his child. The emotional distance that is starting to form, however, may be the most agonizing aspect of it all. Ever observant, Kelly is beginning to distance herself. She doesn't intend to, kids don't. However, she senses that the base of solace she once found in Liam is changing. She is getting quieter when Liam enters the room, holding closer to Steffy, and requesting to sleep in her bed at night. Even when he tries to act calm and tell Steffy and himself that he's just tired or still adjusting, the reality is far more difficult to ignore. Each of these instances feels like a dagger to his heart. Not because of a custody dispute or another guy taking over, but rather because of his own deteriorating identity. Liam feels as though he is losing her. Then the guilt follows. Because, despite his best efforts to remain composed, Liam understands that this struggle is about more than just fatherhood, it's about atonement. He has made a lot of blunders, including disappointing Steffy and Hope and losing his identity in the tug-of-war between other people's expectations. The one connection that gave him a sense of purity, goodness, and worth was Kelly, who was always his compass. What will remain of him if he loses that, if Kelly begins to see him as weak, as less than, as someone she cannot trust? When even his own child starts to stray, what happens to a guy whose entire life has been characterized by love and devotion? Meanwhile, Steffy is having her own difficulties. She wants Kelly to maintain her close relationship with her father and wants to trust and believe in Liam. She can't overlook the small clues, though, like the lost shoes, the forgotten backpack, or the time Liam nearly left the stove on. She's a mother first and foremost. These are warnings, not only coincidences. Furthermore, Steffy, who is very protective, would soon have to make a choice that could alter the trajectory of their entire lives. Will she restrict Liam and Kelly's time together? Will she suggest visits under supervision? Liam would be crushed by the idea alone, but the writing might already be on the wall. Nevertheless, a part of Liam is adamant about persevering. He is still recovering, albeit slowly. In an effort to regain cognitive strength, he is taking his meds, visiting doctors, and keeping a blog of his experiences. In an attempt to better navigate his own difficulties, he has even started going to a support group for parents dealing with neurological issues. Even if it may seem slim, there is still chance that he can regain Steffy's and Kelly's trust with the correct resources and unshakable resolve. Undoubtedly, the upcoming episodes will go deeply into this inner battleground in a gut-wrenching manner. If Steffy believes Liam's illness puts Kelly at risk, fans should prepare for difficult talks, unfiltered emotions, and possibly even a court hearing. One thing is certain, though, regardless of the result, Liam Spencer loves his daughter more than life itself. His heart is still in the right place, even though his future as a father may be questionable. It will be a devastating day in Los Angeles, but it will also mark the start of a new chapter, one that is characterized by the unwavering, brave, and furious love of a father who will not let go, rather than by perfection.